Hello, welcome or welcome back to the YarnNYarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet and weaving, all of the fibre related things. Welcome to day 7 of our 12 cast-ons adventures 2024. If this happens to be the first video that you are clicking on this channel, then each year I host a make along where I cast on 12 new projects to hopefully set myself up for my whole year or multiple years worth of making. I'm someone who likes to have a lot of projects on the needles, so sometimes my projects take me quite a long time to finish, but I'm quite happy with that. I like to have a choice of different things to pick up and work on. If you'd like to find out more about both the 12 cast-ons and what I've already cast on this year, you'll find on the sort of main page on my YouTube channel, you'll find some playlists for both this year's 12 cast-ons and previous years as well. This is day 7 of our 12 cast-ons adventure. I'm doing things a little bit differently this year. In previous years I've cast on 12 projects on 12 consecutive days, but because of various life things I've not been able to do that this year and I'm spreading my cast-ons out a little bit. As I'm recording this, it is Saturday the 13th of January, probably be a week or two before this video goes up on the YouTube channel. Day 7, and I'm excited to be casting on a project which, if you have been watching the previous videos, you will already have known that this one was coming at some point, because I picked it out in a sort of random game of chance earlier on in the videos. I think it might have been day 2 where I did a little randomizer and picked out a project from my Ravelry library. I had to order some yarn for that project, so I shall be casting on a sweater today, and I'm going to be making the Caribou sweater, which is a pattern by the Petite Knitter, and I'll just show you a picture from my phone of the sweater as shown on the Ravelry project page. So as you can see, it's a colourwork sweater. It is all over colourwork in that it has the sort of lice pattern, like the dotted sort of pattern down the body and the sleeves, but it's a sort of circular yoke pattern which has some bands of colour and then also some lovely sort of deer head motifs on it. The pattern was a really kind gift from one of our community members, a lovely friend of mine, Louise. So thank you so much, Louise, for gifting me the pattern. I have been very blessed to have been gifted quite a few patterns over the course of my doing this YouTube channel, and I always try to cast on as soon as I can. There are some that are still waiting patiently, but the 12 cast-ons are the perfect excuse for me to get some of these lovely gift patterns on the needles. I knew that I would need to order yarn for this project, and I've gone for one of the recommended yarns in the pattern, which is Plutalope, and I've not actually knit with this yarn before. It's going to be my first time working with this, so it'll be a nice adventure, I think. So yeah, this is going to be my main colour, this lovely orangey colour. They do have colourway names, but they're not sort of named on the labels that I've got with the yarn. So if I remember, I'll try and pop it up on the screen what the colours are. It's a lovely rusty orange. Surprise, surprise, if you've followed the channel for a while, you're probably not going to be falling off your chair in shock that I'm going to be knitting with orange. I'm also pairing that with this kind of off-white, slightly grey kind of colour. I can't remember again what the colourway was called, but I didn't really want to put an actual white with this. It does look quite white on the screen, but it's definitely got this sort of heathered sort of grey tones to it. If I can get a close-up, I think maybe you can see that. So yeah, these are my 2 colours. I'm going to be casting on that today. It's a top-down sweater, and if you remember from the photo that I showed you, it has a sort of turtleneck, quite a high neck, but there is a suggestion in the pattern that if you're not sure how high you want that neck to be, or even if you want that sort of turtleneck effect, to actually cast on sort of down past that neckline, and then go back and add the neck afterwards. And a few people have mentioned to me that they find this yarn not next to skin soft. I don't know if I'm going to have that problem because I'm not super wool sensitive, and it feels okay as I'm kind of rubbing it around on my face, but yeah, I don't know whether I'd want such a high neck sweater. So I'm going to be sort of casting on below that sort of ribbed neckline, and I'll go back and figure that out afterwards, I think. So hopefully that will mean I will be able to get into some of the colour work knitting straight away today. As I've already mentioned, it's a Saturday, so I've got a day at home. I've already been out this morning for a walk and a swim, my first swim of 2024. I took a teeny tiny little bit of footage of me down at the beach. It was a very grey day. The tide was very high, which meant there's actually wasn't really much beach, and there were quite a few people around, so I didn't get too much of that on camera, but I will share that with you. So I've done my kind of exercise for the day. I do have a few house chores to get on with, but I won't share those with you. But other than that, it should be a fairly cosy day in, I think. So one of the reasons I wanted to start this project today is I should have hopefully a reasonable amount of time to get stuck into this. It's chilly here. It's kind of a few degrees, if that. I think it was -1 when I went out this morning. So with any luck, we'll get the fire going, warm up the living room, and I can sit and knit this afternoon and make some good progress on this project. You'll have to excuse the weird angle, the weird lighting, and the obstacles in the camera. I'm grabbing 2 minutes to chat to you. I'm stood right in front of the fire, warming myself up. It's kind of like created this spooky glow. So I have decided to start with a provisional cast on, which you would have seen me crocheting, done a crochet chain and picked up, so I've done the provisional cast on that way. To start off my sweater, I'll come back to do the neck ribbing, as I already mentioned. I've got to the part where I'm about to start the colour work chart, and I'm using, or I have been using, the needle sizes recommended in the pattern, which was a 3.5mm needle. However, I'm finding it, although the fabric doesn't seem that dense, I'm finding it quite hard work on my hands. So I've decided for the colour work and probably for the remainder of the sweater to go up to a 4mm needle, which might put my gauge out a little bit. I did quickly measure my gauge based on my start, which, you know, is not that accurate, but if you know me, swatching, what's swatching? I want this sweater to be fairly oversized if I can. I'm knitting a size bigger than I might usually, so if it turns out to be super oversized, I'm not really that worried. So yeah, I'm going to go up a needle size and hope that that helps with the sort of hand issue. And also I'm about to do the colour work, and a lot of patterns will recommend that you go up a needle size for colour work anyway, so we'll see how it progresses. I'm about to do one more row of increases, and then I think there's about 14 or 15 rows before the next set of increases, so I'm hoping to get that first sort of 15 rows or so of the colour work chart done this evening, but the stitch count is increasing rapidly, so it'll be quite a lot of knitting. But yeah, I haven't got any plans to do anything else this evening, so it'll just depend on how well my hands hold up. Okay, so it is time to wrap up day 7 of our cast-ons adventures this year, and before I share with you my progress on my caribou, it's time for me to share some of the fabulous cast-ons that have been happening here in our community. As always, there's quite a few to go through, and there's still some more that I haven't caught up on. I'll try and get to those in the next video. So Lynn said she has been spinning some Corriedale fleece, a multicoloured fleece. So she's trying to spin it in a gradient and hopes to cast on a sweater by the end of January, which is amazing. Yolanda has cast on her 10th project, which is the Volia blouse, Volia blouse. And Yolanda has a podcast as well, so do go and check out her channel. Try and remember to link it in the box below. Heather has started a Lang Air and a Banff Springs. Alexandra has started a stratified sweater, and she said this is a recast on because she frogged the version that she cast on last year, so she's trying that one again, and has also cast on a Musselburgh. Nancy has been working with some Harvest Hues, which I think Nancy left the comment under my Fox mittens because I've got some Harvest Hues yarns in that, which is from John Arbin, and she's cast on a crew neck raglan sweater. Ford Toque has been working on some support spindle spinning, and welcome to the channel. They said that they found the channel by clicking on my tips and tricks for support spindle videos. I've got a couple of those up on the channel from a little while ago. So as well as the support spindle spinning, they've also been spinning some Rambouillet on their drop spindles, and have cast on some nest socks and some hats, which is amazing. Sarah has finished all 12 of her cast-ons, so that's amazing, Sarah, well done. Thank you so much for joining in with the full 12. And Sarah's cast on 2 cows, 3 shawls, a Musselburgh, Forest Friends mittens, a hooded scarf, 2 tank tops, some vanilla socks and a Sophie's Dream blanket, and has said that she's cast off one of her cows already, so she's thinking about casting on a cheeky 13th project. Kathy has cast on 10 projects so far, so again another amazing amount of projects, and her latest cast-ons were a Dreamland cardigan, a Cosmo cardigan, a Grow hat and a Pressed Flowers shawl. There's been quite a few Pressed Flowers projects cast on. Obviously I've cast on the socks, Kathy's cast on the shawls, and I'm sure someone, was it Mary, are you spinning for a Pressed Flowers sweater or a cardigan? So yeah, lots of love for the Pressed Flowers patterns. I've got another little list here to go through. I had one written down for some reason and one that I made note of on my phone, so I don't know how I managed to split my list, but hey ho. Tori has cast on the Advent mitten garland and is working on some wall hangings, some woven wall hangings, using some natural dye experiments, both yarn and fleece. So that sounds like such a great project. I can't wait to see those. She's also started a crochet toad and a hand spun sun gazer. Louise has started some cabled mitts and is spinning for a 2-colour brioche shawl. Susan has started a floaty sweater and also some socks. Alex has started a colourwork balaclava. Kaya has started a temperature blanket, a panda from the Animal Friends of Pika Pal book. Don't know if you remember. Oh, I've got him here, look. I made Victor the frog from the Pika Pal book, so I should get back and make some more creatures from that book because they're really fun. Kaya has also, I'm so easily distracted, aren't I? Kaya has also started a duck, a knitted duck, a colourwork hat, and has been raiding some of her older project pattern books and has started a crochet bag from an issue of Pom Pom. And Kaya said she's got 7 more projects planned, so I can't wait to find out what those are. Katie has also cast on all 12 of her projects, which you're all way ahead of me. Well done. Katie has started a double time, a scrub bucket. There's been quite a few scrub bucket project bags, which makes me happy. I made one of those last year, if you remember. A Morchella cardigan, a jingle, a tulip and flax. They're all sweater patterns, and Katie said she's knitting her flax from some hand spun that she spun up in Tour de Fleece last year, and it was a temperature spin. So I know that temperature blankets are really popular, and we've had quite a few of those been cast on during our little cast on party here, but I've not heard of a temperature spin before. So Katie said that she spun different colours depending on the temperatures in each day of the Tour de Fleece, which I think is a great idea. She's also started a combo spin, a staple and 2 ranunculuses or ranunculi, however you want to think of those, and she said one of those is in hand spun. She's also started an Irish rover and a diamond twill vest, which I believe was also in hand spun. So lots of hand spun projects there for Katie, which I always love to hear about. I mean, I love to hear about all of the projects, but there's just something really special about working with your own handspun. Jane has started a pair of neat ripple socks and has made some bookmarks. Alison has started an Avery cowl, and she said that one has been in her pattern queue for 10 years or more, so that's fabulous. That's exactly why I started my 12 cast-ons, was to get to some of those projects that have been on the wish list, on the want list for a while. Alison's also started a brownstone beanie and has 3 more cast-ons to go before she reaches the 12. Tracy has started a Radvent cardigan, a moustache cowl, a jacket number 1, a sweater hug, and an all the time sweater, which is making from leftovers scrap yarn. So lots of amazing inspiration, lots of more amazing new projects cast on. I've also been, I think I've already mentioned in previous videos, I've been reposting everyone's post that I can see over to the Yarn and Yarns Instagram stories, and if I haven't reposted your post, it's probably because either you've got a private account and I can't share it, but yeah, apart from that, I'm trying to repost all of the lovely projects that I see over there, and there's well over 200 projects now that I have reposted just over on Instagram, so it just blows me away the enthusiasm that everyone has for this make along. Let's get on with a little update on my caribou. So rather than a project bag for this project, because these plates of Plutalope take up quite a lot of room, I'm keeping my caribou in a basket here. I'm gonna try and be a little bit careful as I drag these yarns out of the basket, because the Plutalope is quite a delicate yarn. It is, they call it unspun, but obviously it has been put through some kind of process to make it into this kind of singles, not really singles yarn, but it's very delicate and you can pull it apart quite easily. I did manage to get quite a little way through the colour work. I think the last time we spoke I'd literally just done these top rows in the main orangey sort of rusty brown colour. So I've done the first little bit of the colour work. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. I am enjoying working with the Plutalope. As I mentioned, it is quite delicate, it is easy to break, but because it is not superwash, it's also easy to splice back together. So the sort of wet splicing or the spit splicing method is really easy. If you just wet the 2 ends of your broken yarn and roll them between your hands, then they just kind of fuse back together again. So far I'm not having too many problems with breakage. I don't tend to really tension my yarn in the same way as a lot of people do. A lot of people have various fancy ways of like wrapping their yarn through their fingers. I don't really do that, which probably helps with this kind of yarn, that you're not putting too much tension on it as you're knitting. I have broken it a couple of times, but that's just where I tend to sit on the floor a lot. You might have noticed in my videos, and I'm usually surrounded by stuff, so I might have some spinning on the go, I might have some other projects, I might be covered in a blanket, and there have been occasions when I was working on this where I accidentally put something on top of the yarn and didn't notice, and then when I went to pull a bit more yarn out of the cake it split. But as I say, it was really easy to join back together. So yeah, I have made a really good amount of progress for a first day. I did quite a lot of knitting on this to get to this point, but it was worth it because I really wanted to see the start of the colour work emerge. So plenty more knitting to go on that one, but I think it will be one to really look forward to getting back to. I really want to see though that deer head motif appear as I work through the pattern. So that is everything for day 7 of our cast-ons this year. Don't forget to keep letting me know in the comments below what you've been casting on, or if you're not casting on, if either you've finished, let me know which ones of your cast-ons that you're returning to and working on first. If you're working on just random works in progress that you still have in your pile, then let me know, because I love to be inspired by everything that you are working on too. I will be back again in a few days, hopefully, with the next cast on video, day 8, so I hope you will join me for that one. But until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some other things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.